Race 7 coming up next at Sandown is the listed Lord Stakes. It's over 1,600 metres. And number 1, Craig, is our bet boost runner and really well supported favourite now into around the $4.40 range. Very interesting favourite because he was a long time off the scene, but if he can return to his pre-injury form, then he's clearly the best horse in the race. Detonator Jack, back and trip from the Ballarat Cup, $5, having a really good preparation. Regal Asmon hit the line strongly in a high-rating race last time, $5. Regal Zeus, $6. Of the 2 Regal horses, it's the one that can go forward. Precious Charm is the drifter, $5 out to $7.50. Jenny Lala, more support into $9. Another go forward horse, as well as Magnus Spin. So there's plenty of speed in this race at $13. What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
This mounting yard is brought to you by the Racing.com app. National form for every state, every day. Download wherever you get your apps.
For the 6th time in the past 15 years, the Sportsbet Lord Stakes at listed level is run over 1,600 metres. It was on the Heath circuit last year as Regal Vow for Charlotte Littlefield, and Willow defeated Marble Arch, Military Expert and Dashing. Horse 1 in this year's edition is Craig. He brings a touch of class as a Toorak runner-up. He resumed off 13 months off the scene when running on in the Testarossa.
Yeah, he was good there. 3rd fastest last 200 of the race. Given he's returning off a throat operation and a long break, you'd have to think that that operation has been successful with the way he ran there in a good race behind Here to Shock and Persian Spirit. Of course, the runner-up and 3rd place getters have both since run really well out of that race. He'll be fitter for that run. He's suited rising in distance. He's the class horse at his best. The question is, he did step away slowly first up. He generally settles in the second half of the field, and now you're having to take a relatively short price about a horse second up off a really long break. But that aside, there's a lot of positives, and he's the class galloper. How's he present, Amy?
He definitely presents better today than what I saw of him at Caulfield recently, and he's nowhere near as fresh on that day. He got himself really quite worked up, was being quite silly when the jockey got on board. I'll be keeping a close eye on him as Craig gets aboard today, but I think it's a far, far better parade today than what I saw of him from first up.
2, Detonator Jack, 3-back runner-up to Apulia, who's kicked on in the West in the listed Chester Manifold. He's been up in trip via the Eclipse and the Ballarat Cup since.
That race, I think, is the guide to today. So he's second to Apulia, ran excellently well. He ran past Regal Asmon that day, who's one of his main rivals in this race, and he had Inzudo behind him in 4th, the favourite that day. Eclipse, he was disappointing. Maybe 1,800 is a bridge too far, and I think 2,000 metres is a bridge too far. So back to his right distance, inside gate, should get a soft run. He's probably going to be 3rd pair back or worse, but if the C's part, I think he's one of the best winning chances in the race.
I think the team were well and truly entitled to try him up over further. It has been 760 odd days since he's won a race. I think you've got to ask the question, but good to see him dropping back today. You know the horse is fit. Obviously, he's run over 2,000 at his last start. His attitude and condition are very similar to how I've seen him all prep.
To the Regals, Zeus for McNeil and McArdle, first of all. Kilmore Cup winner 2-back in favourable circumstances. Things weren't so favourable in the Gold Bullion. They
weren't. I just think 1,400 Pakenham doesn't get complete control. It's not as nice a scenario as 1,600 around the lakeside when he finds the front. We saw the Kilmore Cup, it was put on completely for him, but it shows what he's capable of. He beat some nice horses by a big margin. He looks your likely leader today, and given that, and given he's back to his right distance and what we've seen so far today, I think he's the value in the race.
I think he looks excellent. He's actually a bit more up and about today, which I like for this horse. He used to be a bit of a maniac when he was a young fella and used to get himself very, very worked up. But he's been parading really quite quiet lately, and I like him being on his toes like this. I think it's as good as I've seen him for a while.
Luke Nolan, who's won this race twice, is on the 4 Regal Asmon. 5th in the Chester Manifold is a reference, as is the 3rd in the Vobis Gold Bullion.
Yeah, I thought it was an excellent effort last time out. He raced straight past a horse like Regal Zeus. He's far better suited up to 1,600. He was good in the gong 2 starts ago at 1,600 metres. He was good in that race behind Apulia when he wasn't far off. Detonator Jack. He looks ready to win at 1,600. His racing pattern's the issue. He's going to be spotting a horse like Regal Zeus a bit of a start.
He looks really good again, this horse. His weight and his attitude are very similar to how I see him every start this prep.
Note Luke Nolan riding at the allotted 56. Well, can Gavmas continue with the 5, Jenny Lala.
He's been in excellent form coming into today, Gavin Bedggood, and he's improved it further with a big double. She'll roll forward. This is a much more suitable race in the Cranbourne Cup. She might set second in running, and if Regal Zeus doesn't run to his best, maybe she's the first to pounce.
She's a really sweet mare. There's always parades with a great attitude. Her conditions very similar to how I've seen her all prep.
6 is Precious Charm, who gets Jamie Millam off winning the Werribee Cup.
Yeah, this race is a bit stronger, but she surprised me with how well she went there in the Werribee Cup. She did have the right run, but she's a progressive mare, and she's won 8 of 21, so she just sneaks up on you with what she's capable of. When the bar is being raised, she keeps answering it.
She looks excellent. She's by far got the healthiest coat in the whole parade here. I think she's in fantastic condition.
St Lawrence strikes this race third up.
Yeah, it was a good effort in the Cranbourne Cup. He just tried to make that looping run with the winner, Sabaj, but he was only second up. He peaked late. He's jumped out between runs, should strip fitter. He might be nearing another win.
I think that jump out between runs has really tightened him up considerably. He's definitely at his peak today. Looked lovely and toned over his ribcage.
8 Milford is first up.
He's first up, never run top 3 in 8 previous first up runs. He's had a solid trial, but maybe he can use the inside barrier to take a position. I'd rather him with a run under the belt.
He appears to have come back in quite good nick this time round. His coat's beautiful and healthy, which is pretty typical for him, and he looks like he's done quite a bit of work too.
Map and Circumstances better today for the 9 Magnus Spin.
Yeah, he's been backed at a price, and I can see why. Third up, getting to 1,600, mapping for a soft run on the minimum in behind the leaders. He can outperform his price for sure. Looks at value on an each-way basis. I'm
happy with the way that he's paraded today, this horse, but I do feel like his coat's just got the tiniest bit more cleaning up to do, and he is going to be at his peak in about a fortnight.
10 out, Craig Newitt a half kilo over on the 11 Bond Mistress.
It's quite a good run. It was an improved effort there last time out. It was a much weaker race than this. She does drop in weight with the rise in class, but I would just prefer her in mare's grade.
Yeah, I was happy with the way she looks, but I feel like she's looked really good all preparation. I found her on top a number of times, and it was good to see her bounce back to a bit of form last start because she did need to do that.
Defibrillate, Holbein, Nugget, Zenzella and Regal Val, the winners of the Lord in the 2020s, who can add their name in 2025, Ben.
I think it could be Regal Zeus. I think he's the value in this race, given he looks your likely leader. There's not much between these. Regal Asmon, Detonator, Jack and Craig are all strong winning hopes, all things being equal, but all things aren't equal in racing, and Regal Zeus will go to the front and I think can give you a really big side. He was a bit disappointing last time out, but he's at his right distance now, gets his right conditions, and if he finds the front, he's a very hard horse to get past. So Regal Zeus on top for me. Amy, who was the pick of the yard?
Yeah, we're on the same team again there, Benny. Regal Zeus for me. I thought this horse paraded beautiful today. It's been pretty quiet lately in the parade ring, and as I touched on when I was doing my assessment there, I actually prefer him to be a little bit more up and about, which is what we saw from him today. So I thought he looked absolutely fantastic. Craig paraded so much better today. He's taken huge improvement from that first up run into today, both physically and mentally. He was just nowhere near as fresh and silly. Another horse that I thought looked fantastic was Precious Charm for Simon Wilde.
This is a terrific late go in betting here, guys. There's any number of 3 or 4 that could start our favourite here. At the moment, Detonator Jack is our equal $5 favourite with Craig, our bet boost runner, who you can get $5.54 with that bet boost. Regal Asmon, $5.50 from Regal Zeus, $6. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of late money for this horse. Precious Charm now out to $7, despite being a last start dead heat winner in that Werribee Cup. Jenny Lala, $9, and Magnus Spin trims in again, $13 to $12. What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call that number on the screen or visit the website.
Well, Johnny, Merry Christmas to you. How did you spend your Christmas day yesterday?
The mother-in-laws and then my brothers, but spent most of the time chasing me kids around, so a long and arduous day.
I can relate, bro. No problem. Hey, Regal Zeus, you must be wrapped with the way that this track's been playing today.
Yeah, look, it's a positive. The horse of the race shape just didn't work for him last start. He's back to the mile. He seems bright and bouncy. So, yeah, he'll jump. I mean, Jai's never ridden him before, which is always a little bit of a trick because he's a horse that you have to know. But he's watched his replays and we've told him exactly what we need him to do. Hopefully he can execute it. He'll jump, he'll roll to the front. We'll try and pinch a break coming around the turn and see if he can hold on.
What were some of those special insights you gave him? Obviously, the horse is quite quirky.
Yeah, mainly just that you can't let him get too close to him. He doesn't sprint. He just maintains a strong gallop. So get on your bike just before the turn and try and get them chasing, and that he'll probably lay in and do a few things wrong. But if he's on, he'll tow you all the way to the line.
Apart from that, it's easy as. Hey, good luck.
Thank you.
From the Zeus to the Asmon, Philip Stokes joins us to chat about his chance in the Lord Stakes. Philip, how does Luke Nolan try and be close enough to make sure he's good enough?
Well, we're off to a good start because he was going to ride the horse a kilo over to start with, and he's made the weight, so that's good. It's going to be a tricky map. He's a back marker. Regal Zeus is obviously drawn to get the right run, but let's hope they go quick. He's training beautifully at home. Can't fault him in that respect. And if they can run on, he'll be thereabouts.
How do you assess his condition compared to what he's produced through a relatively consistent campaign so far?
Oh, he's held his condition well. I actually think he probably paraded better here today than he did at Pakenham. So let's hope that gives us hope.
Hopefully you get the circumstances you're after. Good luck.
Thank you.
Philip Stokes there, who has Regal Asmon, who is now on the second line of betting. We have a clear favourite. Craig was equal favourite at $5.50 with the likes of Detonator Jack and Regal Asmon, but he's firmed into $4.80 clear favourite late. Regal Zeus has attracted some support. It's now 6 into $5.50 after being $7 this morning, with Regal Asmon rock solid at $5.50 and Detonator Jack now just easing to $6. So there's nothing between these top four in the betting. Craig shading both Regal Zeus and Regal Asmon. Then it's Detonator Jack, but not far away to Jenny Lala. There's been, Precious Charm at $7.50's rock solid. St Lawrence has been easy, and Magnus has been rock solid at $13. The map on paper looks like Regal Zeus is your leader. Jenny Lala might come across with him. Then it's a case of who can hold those positions in behind. Magnus Spin looks the most likely to do so. They're loading away nicely for the Sportsbet Lord Stakes here. Craig to run your favourite. Let's go to Matt Hill for the call.
Husk and Sling, a decade apart. So they're moving forward. That's Regal Zeus going in. Looked a picture in the mounting enclosure, just trotting around. Looked very happy with himself. Last few to get set as Craig goes up. Precious Charm, the mare who's been in form, is about to load forward, starting at the traditional 1,600 metre start here. Lakeside for the listed Lord Stakes of 175,000. Precious Charm coming along. Craig standing well. Milford just pouring the stalls. They're ready. No. They're set to run. Green distinguishing cap on Regal Asmon. Away, Regal Asmon away fairly. Craig missed the kick 3 lengths. Bond Mistress going out to the end 2. Beginning well, Regal Zeus as expected to lead Jenny Lala. Magnus Spin, Precious Charm behind those. Precious Charm just a little wide from that wide gate, and Milford punching up on the fence to 5th. They're 3 lengths Detonator Jackson Lawrence, 2.5 Regal Asmon. Then Bond Mistress and Craig is last. Regal Zeus, 1,200 metres to go. Led by 1.25 Jenny Lala and Precious Charm. Milford 4th the rails. Then came Magnus Spin. 2 further back in the field, Detonator Jack. Then came St Lawrence, Regal Asmon. Bond Mistress is 3 wide, thinking about starting to progress around the field, and Craig on the inside is at the tail. So the leader is Regal Zeus. Led them and kept them moving towards the 850 corner by 1.25 Jenny Lala, and they were followed by Precious Charm as the leader tries to stack them up downhill. Milford 4th the inside of Magnus Spin, and then Bond Mistress 3 wide. Detonator Jack on the fence coiled away from St Lawrence. Regal Asmon had the back of Bond Mistress, and last of all is Craig. Around the corner, Regal Zeus tries to kick away, and it's 2 lengths on Jenny Lala at the 425. Then Milford to the outside, Precious Charm. It's been 3 wide the trip. It's got 4 lengths to pick up, and then Detonator Jack, Magnus Spin, Craig, St Lawrence. So it's Regal Zeus, 200 metres to go, shown its head. 2 lengths Jenny Lala, Precious Charm battle, St Lawrence down the outside. Regal Zeus, 100 metres to go from Jenny Lala and St Lawrence. Regal Zeus needing the line. St Lawrence is coming hard, but not hard enough, and Regal Zeus all of the way in the Lord Stakes. St Lawrence second, Detonator Jack for third, and then came Magnus Spin and Regal Asmon fighting out 4 with Precious Charm. Behind them, Jenny Lala, Bond Mistress, Craig Never Warm, and Milford at the end.
Had to be bold in the circumstances, and bold Jai McNeil was. Regal Zeus collects the Lord Stakes. St Lawrence almost added the ultimate cherry to the Gavin Bedgegood cake on Boxing Day. Detonator Jack perennially running on claims another stakes placing, but the McArdle team are wrapped, and so they should be. Regal Zeus, he's had a prep and a half. The Kilmore Cup where circumstances were very much onside. You had to be forgivable of what happened on Pakenham Cup Day. And if you stuck fat, you've been duly rewarded, Ben.
Yeah, and I think there was some really pertinent comments from Amy in the mounting yard talking about this horse because he's so consistent. You know, first up, too short. Second up, nothing went right. He missed the start. He's never going to perform at Group 2 level over 1,400 in those circumstances. But he bolted in third up. And having listened to Amy, who we'll bring in now for multiple preparations, Amy, you talk about this horse and how consistent and honest he is. And you mentioned at Pakenham that he was a little bit too quiet and that you didn't like it. Well, he's back to his best today. You made him the pick of the yard. And that was a really nice ride from Jai McNeil, who's been, by his own lofty standards, out of form probably this year. He copped a big suspension out of the Melbourne Cup and he's come back and ridden this horse to perfection. So well done to him and well done to you for your mounting yard analysis.
No, thank you, mate. And well done to Jai. I think that was beautifully executed. He is a really, really tricky horse. We heard John McArdle pre-race touch on he's just Goldilocks. You have to be in front but not too close to other horses but not too far away. And it's just had to get it absolutely right and he certainly did. And Nigel, you're going to be joined by John McArdle now, who's the winning trainer of Regal Zeus.
John McArdle joins us after the win in the Lord Stakes of Regal Zeus. Well, they were singing in the rain at Kilmore. Good luck to the bar staff here in the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, they're probably got their work cut out for them. They're a crew that enjoy their wins. They actually won the Pakenham Cup as well with Philip Stokes, most of them. So they've had a pretty good few weeks. Just this horse getting back to the mile, race shape that suited him. Jai rode him, as you can hear, rode him perfect. He is a little bit of a trick for someone that hasn't ridden him before. So, you know, Jai's a professional. He looked at his videos and seen what to do. And then we had a good discussion before the race as to how you have to ride him. And, when he sort of kicked coming around the turn, he's at a mile, he's a tough horse to run down. So, great job by the team at home and the team at Foreman Park that look after him when he goes to the Water Walker. And Mark Burkhart's won another stakes race for Regal Bloodstock.
John, was there a particular trick that you advised Jai on? If there's one thing to be looking out for in run, it's this?
Well, you just got to get him in front and then give him a little bit of a spell for sort of 400 or 500 metres. But the main thing is whether it's a tight turning track or whether it's a track like this, that he gets on his bike before the turn and sort of puts that 3 lengths on him. They have to chase. This horse doesn't sprint. He just runs the same speed the whole way. So the plan is always to get him sort of out in front, get them chasing, get them out of his comfort zone. And Jai did that perfectly today. And the horse was back to his best. He's had a little bit of a checkered campaign, but he's won 10 races now. I think he's a 3-time stakes winner, and that should put him very, very close to $1 million. So he's been a good little horse.
John, a great training performance. Enjoy the celebrations.
I'm sure it'll be good.
Jai McNeil in to chat to us. He gets the win in the Lord Stakes on Regal Zeus. Jai, congratulations. It was a pretty clear strategy. How was it executed?
Yeah, well, he began really well, which was key. Got across really comfortable, and then he just really settled into his rhythm nicely. We ran along at nice enough sectionals, which seems to really suit him. And then, of course, the key moment of getting going at the right time, as well as this track playing into our favour today. But the horse was presented in great condition and he was able to get the job done.
You'd done the film work and John said he'd armed you with a few things to be aware of with him. Were there some aspects in run where you're like, all right, I think I'm a step ahead of you here?
Yeah, no, he painted a really good picture. I've obviously never ridden him before, and I watched his replays, and with John's help pre-race, we were able to nail it.
Well done.
Thank you.
Really nice ride there from Jai McNeil to control things really well from the front here, Amy, and went quick enough early that the field strung out. Now, they did bunch a little bit on the turn, and he had to get going at the right time. Before the turn here, he pinches a length, 2 lengths on Jenny Lala, and is really at full momentum at the top of the straight on the Lakeside track. And if you're good enough and you're in front today and you've had a sweet enough run in front, you're going to be awfully hard to beat. How about the run of St Lawrence from back in the field, 3rd up today coming out of the Cranbourne Cup? that was a massive run. He's run right away for some pretty nice horses back in the field. Don't know where they go next with him, but he's bursting to win one.
Yeah, you'd have to think that St Lawrence's closing sectionals would probably be as good as anything that we've seen today. But all honours with Regal Zeus, he's an absolute beauty. And as we touched on too, great to see Jai McNeil back in the winner's circle with a stakes win like this. He's a class jockey, a class human, and he executed that ride absolutely perfectly.
He did indeed. Takes out one of the two features today. We've seen some impressive performances. Hedged wins the Christmas Stakes. Regal Zeus, the Lord Stakes.